He thinks I'm filming Magic Lore Monday. Ooh, say hello. Say hi, Randall. Hey, look up there. You see it? No, he has no idea. Okay. I'm realizing that I need a haircut. And I shaved. Like, I feel like I just shaved. Look like dollar store Wolverine. Hello, and welcome back to Untapped with Andy. I'm your host, Andy, and before we dive into the video, I wanted to get a few things out of the way. One, if you couldn't notice, new background means we're in the new house. That is right. My wife and I purchased our first home. We are incredibly excited. It has been a long time coming. We have plenty of updates to make, but that's okay. Those will come in the future. So we're in our new home, so that's why the content has been a little bit behind schedule, especially long form content. I have managed to keep up with Magic Lore Monday because I know a lot of you really appreciate that, and it's my favorite kind of content that I'm doing because I get to learn about cool magic stuff. So thank you all for enjoying it so much. So that will continue every single Monday. Right now, the long form content, we just gotta play catch up. That is what it is. So appreciate the patience. Secondly, big announcement here. I have officially partnered with Team Gerudo as one of their newest brand ambassadors. Gerudo is an online trading card game community that does function as a webcam top-down stream recording gameplay sort of platform, but more importantly, it's a social platform for trading card games. So I can share all my content on Gerudo, I can interact with other creators in that space, and they started last year and they've really blown up, and to see such a large amount of growth in a small window is incredible, and I'm just beyond grateful for the opportunity. So Team Gerudo, thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to working with you all, learning more about the program and the platform, and growing alongside several other incredible creators. And now that those things are covered, without further ado, let's get into the video. Today is not Magic Lore Monday because it is Tuesday and this is a long form YouTube video. So we're not talking about Magic Lore. We're actually talking about Magic's future. We are in the midst of spoiler season, ladies and gentlemen, and we are seeing some hot stuff coming in 2027. A lot of people are focused on The Hobbit right now. That's all well and good. I'm not the biggest loader fan. There are some cards that I will certainly pick up as far as singles are concerned. Definitely some playable and some strong cards. What I'm mostly excited about are the sets that were previewed at MagicCon Amsterdam, the in-universe sets for 2027. I think 2027 is slated to be an absolute banger for Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast, you're cooking, and you're cooking with gasoline. So today we're going to talk about the in-universe sets that are coming out in 2027. But before we move on, if you guys like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel, comment down below what kind of content you enjoy seeing. Engaging with you all is how the channel grows the best. It helps push my videos out to the algorithm, and it helps me make more content like this for you all. So if you enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Gerudo, and follow the Gerudo team because they have a bunch of other creators that post tons of different styles of content, from deck techs for CEDH content. They post gameplay videos, they post tips and tricks, a lot of stuff like me, but also a lot of stuff that I don't post. So if you want a full span of Magic the Gathering content, every single part of the spectrum from end to end, check out the creators on Gerudo. You will not regret it. So let's begin talking about the in-universe sets for 2027. So first up, we have Nauctis in early February. Nauctis is a fully underwater plane. I am blown away by that. I have no idea how we in Magic are getting there. I have no idea how this plane formed, but as someone who enjoys the lore behind Magic, I'm very excited to learn that story. The art, the concept, it all looks phenomenal. I think a fully underwater plane is incredible for a number of reasons, one of which is the fact that I think deep sea in this specific fantasy space is super underutilized, so I'm incredibly excited to see what Wizards will do. Some of the concept art they've already released for it looks amazing. It's also the first set that I think we've ever had that doesn't have flying at all. I mean, we're fully underwater. That makes the most sense. However, it was confirmed that we will have an evasion mechanic similar to flying. So if we have creatures that have like diving or deep sea something or other, I think that is super cool. So whenever I look at Magic cards and we talk about flying, creatures with flying can block other creatures with flying. But if you don't have flying, you can't block flying. So the same would go for the deep sea underwater mechanic. It's just creatures fighting underwater. That's so cool. That is so so cool. The concept art looks amazing so far, and I do think with Reality Fracture, I don't know. I am incredibly excited. I keep saying incredibly excited, but generally I am. I think Nauctis is going to be absolutely amazing, especially coming right after Reality Fracture in terms of in-universe sets. So Reality Fracture being the last in-universe set for 2026, by the way, that set's going to be phenomenal. I plan on spending way too much money on that set, but also doing a full set review more than likely. Also probably do full set reviews for all the in-universe sets next year because they just all look insane. But coming off the heels of Reality Fracture being the last in-universe set, with the story and significance of Reality Fracture, it's interesting to think about going to a brand new plane immediately after that. However, there is a lot of space between October and February, so there's a lot of time for them to continue building that story. I don't know, how are we from Reality Fracture? How are we going through the Omen paths to this new plane? I don't know. I'm incredibly excited to find out, and I just think an underwater plane is going to be really cool and unique and mysterious. And let's talk about creature support. Leviathans, krakens, crabs maybe not crabs so much, but deep sea creatures. That's gonna be sick. I'm almost certain we'll have more merfolk. To my knowledge, Nauctis is sort of influenced and inspired by the city of Atlantis. So more than likely, knowing that, we'll have some pretty strong merfolk support, which is cool because we haven't seen a whole lot of that. We saw some in War When Eclipse, but we haven't seen a whole lot of that in a while. So that'll be really cool to see. If so, I don't know. If you have any other theories about Nauctis, let me know in the comments down below, but I truthfully think this is going to be one of the best sets Magic has had in a long time. However, the next in-universe set, I think is going to be obscenely cool, and that is taking place on June 4th for its release date, and that is going to be Kamigawa Titan Breach. Yes, we are going back to another beloved Magic plane. I wasn't playing Magic whenever Kamigawa Neon Dynasty came out. However, it is one of my more liked sets. It's not one of my favorites, but it is a great set. So I'm excited to return, especially for the reason that we're returning. And if you guys haven't seen it, Wizards did post 2 to 3 minute trailers on their channel for each of these sets. I highly suggest watching them. It gives you a little bit of behind the scenes regarding the creators and the design team for each set. It shows you concept art that I'm going to be sharing with you on this video. It also kind of gives you a little more insight as to what they were kind of thinking when designing the plane and what they're thinking as we move into those planes and sort of build those worlds and those stories that lead us there. Kamigawa Titan Breach. I know I just said Nauctis might be the best set next year, and it very well may be. I'm definitely equally as excited for Titan Breach as I am Nauctis, because this is essentially like Pacific Rim meets Destiny meets Magic. Essentially what's taking place. Giant, terrifying monsters from Ikoria are literally falling from the sky and landing in Kamigawa. First of all, that's crazy. A lot of people have been asking for Wizards to take us back to Ikoria. I think that's awesome. We're not 100% getting it, but we're getting a little bit of a taste of Ikorian monsters and Ikorian magic, what have you. Ikorian monsters and behemoths are literally falling from the sky and landing in Kamigawa. The people of Kamigawa, the Kamigawans, if you will, you'd think, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. Giant monsters, this is so scary. Whatever shall we do? Their reaction is to build giant mechs and fight them. They're building giant robots and fighting the monsters that fell from the sky and are invading their realm. There's just not a whole lot else to say about it other than that's fucking awesome. That's gonna be sweet. We're literally getting like Pacific Rim in an in-universe Magic set. The art looks wild. As a fan of games like Mech Assault, as a fan of movies like Pacific Rim, as a huge Destiny player, as a fan of that level of fantasy and sort of like mix between classic fantasy and science fiction fantasy. From what we've seen so far, this looks like they are perfectly bridging that gap, and I think they're gonna knock it out of the park. And even if they don't, we'll get to see big giant robots fight giant mutant lizards and behemoths and disgusting, terrifying, nasty monsters. It doesn't matter. That set could bomb, and I still think it's gonna be sick. I still think it's gonna be so much fun. I think it'll be a great limited environment. That's one thing that I'm trying to think more of as I play more pre-releases and do more drafts or chaos drafts, is what does this set look like from a limited environment, a sealed environment perspective. I'm a Commander player. That's where I really got into Magic a couple years ago, is when I started playing Commander, and that's always going to be my bread and butter. That's going to be my Magic core, so to speak. However, as I play more pre-release events and do more limited style play, that's one way I'm trying to think of upcoming sets, and I think Nauctis and Kamigawa Titan Breach are going to be very good from a limited environment perspective. I think this is something that we haven't seen before in Magic. Much like Nauctis, we haven't seen fully underwater planes. We've had Merfolk, we've had Leviathan, but it's never been a full plane. Titan Breach, yeah, we have artifact creatures, we have robots technically, we have big mechs, but we've never had them be an exclusive focus of a set. And now, it's basically Godzilla versus robots is what we're gonna see in Magic, and I think that is just banana pancakes cool, and I can't fucking wait. Moving on to the last, and one of the more, probably the most interesting, and I know I've said that each subsequent set has been the coolest or my favorite or whatever. I think this is the most interesting for a number of reasons. Coming October 1st, 2027, we have Zhalfir. Now, I don't know a lot about Zhalfir. I know that this is sort of an older plane that's been referenced in Magic in the past. What I think is really, really cool about it is going to be an Afrocentric theme as far as its culture and history and influence are all considered. So we're returning to Zhalfir because it has been phased back in after Teferi phased it out to protect it from the Phyrexian invasion during March of the Machines. First of all, that's really cool. He phased out a whole entire plane. Teferi is insane. But this being an Afrocentric focused set, I think is incredibly cool. If you watch the video that Wizards released regarding how the set was designed and who designed it, this set is led by a lot of black artists and design leads and other people of color, and they also were able to meet with professors and specialists in black history and going way, way back to like ancient history. They did it right, in my opinion. And speaking as a white person myself, I think we do tend to see a lot of things like these get sort of whitewashed a lot of times, and I have to give credit where it's due because Wizards quite literally did their homework with this set. The art looks gorgeous. I think hiring the people that they did and choosing the people that they did to lead the design and the story and the world building on this set, it was done correctly and done incredibly well. So kudos to them, absolutely. From someone who doesn't know a whole lot about it at all, the art looks really, really cool. I have no idea what kind of creature support or land support or really exactly what the set is going to be about, but I know that they're going to absolutely crush it with the story, and I'm excited to be a part of the set. I think it's really, really cool, and it's certainly something that I think a lot of us can learn from. I mean, even in our silly little Commander game, being able to see the influence that was taken and the inspiration that was taken from Afrocentric history to create the art for Zhalfir next year, I think it's awesome. Plain and simple. And another cool little fun fact, after a brief read regarding Zhalfir in the year of our Lord Richard Garfield 2027, turns out that Zhalfir is actually returning from being phased out. It's returning atop Mirrodin. So I don't really know how that's going to play out. I think it's cool that we're having sort of like a subtle little pseudo crossover set similar to Kamigawa Titan Breach. Maybe we'll see some more Mirrodin, Phyrexian. Maybe we'll see some artifact. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna see. I think that leaves a lot to be thought about. I think that kind of adds to the mystery of that set. It just looks so mystical and spiritual, and I don't know. I think it's gonna be an awesome set. So moving on to some theories regarding in-universe sets in 2027. First of all, I know a lot of people are asking, a lot of my friends, a lot of my fellow Magic Commander players are wanting it. It's not gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna see a fetch land reprint, mostly because they're not legal in Standard. So we're not gonna see that for a while, I think. If we do, I will be blown away. I mean, we've had them only in modern sets most recently, so to see them in a non-modern set, I think is quite literally near impossible. I'm hopeful, but I'm not gonna hold my breath, cross my fingers or toes or whatever the hell, because as much as I want it and I want my fetch land prices to go down to, you know, build my decks a little bit better, because not every deck can have the most amazing mana base. It'd be nice, but I don't think we're gonna get it. Outside of that, with every set, as a Commander player, I'm excited to see what kind of legends we're going to get. Who can be at the helm of my next Commander deck? What kind of new keywords are we going to get? Like, we're getting new keywords and new mechanics in The Hobbit. So if they can do that for a Universes Beyond set, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with places like Nauctis or Zhalfir, or heck, even Titan Breach. They can do something cool with vehicles and make vehicles playable and good. Or they can kind of do something similar to vehicles with a different kind of artifact. Something similar to a crew mechanic where instead of becoming a creature, there's something kind of like mutate, or maybe they even do mutate again, because we're gonna have Ikorian monsters falling from the sky in Kamigawa. I think mutate is super underrated. I don't play a lot of it myself, but I think it's a really cool mechanic, and I'd like to build a mutate commander deck at some point, where they're kind of drip feeding the information. They do a big grand reveal at MagicCon, release a couple minute videos for each set, and give a little bit of insight to the behind the scenes, the concept art, the story building, etc., etc. It's awesome, because it lets us speculate and theorize wildly, and I love doing that because it gets me so excited for the sets that are coming out in the upcoming year. What are your theories? Do you have any theories for the sets that are coming out next year? Do you have expectations? Do you have thoughts about the set? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Whatever you think about the sets next year, let me know in the comment section down below. Tell me what set you're most excited for. I think for me, it's probably going to be Nauctis, with Kamigawa and Zhalfir being tied at an incredibly close second. I really think that this is going to be one of the best years for Magic in a while. I also love that we're going to have an even number of in-universe and Universes Beyond sets. Quite frankly, I think we should have more in-universe and less Universes Beyond, but hey, this year we had 7 total sets, and next year we're down to 6, so baby steps. So whatever it is, if it's your favorite set of next year, if you have theories or things that you want to see, things that you hope that we see next year in these in-universe sets, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Most of the people that watch my videos are unsubscribed, and I gotta think that if you watch my videos, you like the content, so you might as well subscribe so you never miss an upload. Do that. I appreciate you guys' support. Looking forward to everything that Magic's doing. I think they're doing great. I think Wizards is doing impeccable as far as a lot of the content that they're releasing. I don't really care about Star Trek. I'm happy that we got another reprint of Shocklands to lower the barrier to entry for a better mana base for a lot of players, myself included. Never gonna be mad about good land reprints. Outside of that, not a fan, but to each their own. I'm just gonna skip it. Outside of that, I'm very excited for everything that Wizards is doing with Magic, and I'm looking forward to all of it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. I gotta go eat dinner. Still figuring out how to end these videos. Guys, look at myself? I don't know. Lighting's pretty good here. I'm right by a window. Maybe it changes, and that's bad. Like for color correction, you know? Bad angle? No, bad angle. Good angle. Bad angle. Okay. Alright, well that's my bad side. Now we know.